This was the most powerful country that ever lived. In 2157, it is a warning written in concrete. America fought the world for a century. 60 years ago, the world finally answered. The world had grown tired of American wars. Russia decided to end them in an afternoon. Everything you see here turned to glass before the sound even arrived. This plane once fed the whole world. Now it cannot feed the people standing on it. The bombs ended the war in an afternoon. The poisoned ground is still ending lives. She once welcomed the world. Now the world she angered has buried her in the sea. The waters rose because the war broke more than cities. It broke the climate too. The victors built this to last. Everything American around it, they left to rot. The world had decided a century of American war would end here. This stone is how they signed it. America was built to never stop moving. 60,000 miles of road and nowhere left to go. The engines are dead. People walk now, carrying their whole lives on their backs. The war did not just burn the cities. It killed the power that ran the country. These reactors were built to outlast us. Now people seal them by hand, knowing they never will. A house, a car, a lawn. They sold this to 100 million people as safety. It was the most fragile promise of all. A whole middle class gone in one lifetime. The war broke the sky. Now the weather itself is the enemy. Walls of poison dust bury whole towns. Out here, you live by the bell. With no government left to protect anyone, the family became the smallest country there is. 3 generations, 1 warm room, sharing every breath and every meal. Out here, water is worth more than gold. Every drop is caught, filtered, and counted. Your whole day is decided by your place in this line. The ground is poisoned, so they grow their food in the sky. One tower like this can feed a whole settlement. Up here, green is the rarest color there is. Money died with the country. Now value is whatever keeps you alive. Water, a battery, a dose of antibiotics, everything trades hand to hand, by weight and by need. A shared fire feeds more mouths than 100 private ones. This meal is the heart of the settlement. The children eat first. No one eats alone. No country is left to run their schools, so the settlements teach their own. They do not learn the glory of the old country. They learn why it fell. The national grid is dead forever. Every watt here is harvested by hand. Sun and wind charge old batteries for a few hours of light. Power is a luxury now, measured by the hour. The pharmacies are gone. Medicine here is rationed by the dose and stretched by skill. One trained healer is often all that stands between a settlement and the diseases we thought we had beaten. There is no fashion left, only what keeps you alive. Every coat is cut for heat, ash, and sandstorms. This is where the look you see me wearing is born. The rivers are poisoned, so they let the plants do the cleaning. Over days, reeds and microbes pull the poison out. The same earth the war wounded can be taught to heal. The networks are dead. Now news crawls by radio and on foot. One voice reads the storm warnings and the names of the missing into the static. Out here, that voice is trusted with everything. A world that buried so many has learned to make death gentle again. No grand monuments. Just every name kept and spoken aloud so no one is forgotten. In a poisoned, hungry country, a healthy birth is the rarest victory there is. They guard every new life like proof that the people, unlike the country, are not finished. Faith did not die with the country. It changed. The new prayers are not for glory. They are for endurance and the patience to rebuild. The museums are gone and the screens are dead, so art moved back to the wall. They paint their grief and their hope where everyone passes. A people who lost everything still insist on making meaning. Knowledge nearly died with the screens, so survivors became its keepers. They hunt books from drowned cities and copy the ones that teach people how to grow, heal, and build. The factories are dead. The smith makes the world by hand again. A blade, a hinge, a plow. The ring of this hammer is one of the most welcome sounds there is. Cattle could not survive the poison. Goats can eat the scrub that grows in the ruins. Milk, cheese, meat, and hide. From animals tough enough to live where nothing else will. The poisoned fields took the old crops, so survivors guard the seeds like treasure. This vault holds the memory of everything the land once grew. Farming comes back one resistant seed at a time. The great rivers ran poison for decades. Now, very slowly, life is creeping back. Every fish is tested before it feeds anyone. A healing river is one of the first signs the land is beginning to forgive. The roads are dead and the towns are days apart. The caravan is the artery that links them. Water, seed, tools, and news, hauled across the wastes at walking pace. The traders are what holds the survivors together. Not everyone settled. Some became nomads, following the rains across the wastes. They carry their whole world on their backs, the great wanderers and storytellers of ruined America. There is no army and no law left, so every settlement guards itself. Ordinary people take turns on the watch, not to conquer but to guard their water and their families. Order here is fragile and local. Even in ruin, people need more than survival. By day, this is medicine. By night, it is comfort. Morale is a resource you have to brew. Nothing new is made anymore, so the tinkers keep the old machines running far past their time. They scavenge the dead to heal the living. Knowing how the old world worked is a fortune in itself. With water this scarce, cleanliness is a careful, shared ritual. One boiler heats the whole settlement, and the used water feeds the crops. Hygiene here is survival, not vanity. So many records were destroyed. The elders who remember became living libraries. They tell how America fell so the young will not forget. History kept alive by voice and firelight. These children never knew the old country. The ruins are simply their world. They play without fear, and their laughter is the most hopeful sound in the settlement. A wedding is one of the great celebrations of survivor life. Two families binding together to share what little they have. Marriage here is a defiant act of hope. When the manufactured medicine runs out, survivors fall back on the old plant knowledge. They learn which mutated plants heal and which now kill. Folk medicine and salvage drugs working side by side. This was the capital of the world's money, the city that never slept. Now it sleeps under the tide. A few boat clans live in the dry floors above the drowned avenues. When the bombs fell, the leaders came down here and sealed the door behind them. They saved their systems and lost their country. Then they died down here too, in the dark. This city sold America's dream to the whole world, the capital of film and fame. Now it is a sea of glass. A culture that exported fantasy and imported fire. This was the temple of American excesses, a city of water it never had, in a desert that never wanted it. It sold fantasy and chance, a nation that gambled everything and lost. The risen Gulf drowned the old South, but here, the water that killed the city fed a new world. A river people live in the high galleries now, fishing and trapping. Where the water rose, a strange fertility rose with it. The war threw so much ash into the sky that the north froze. The seasons twisted into long ash winters. This proud city is ice now, and people endure a cold the old country never knew. This was the engine room of the old economy, where America refined the fuel for its restless life. It still leaks poison 60 years on. Some of this country's wounds had nothing to do with the bombs. Deep in the canyon, the air is clean and the storms pass overhead. Survivors did what the ancient peoples did and built into the cliffs. Here, they did not just survive, they thrived. This valley once held the brains of the planet, every screen, every market, every weapon. When the bombs cut the power, it all went dark in an instant. The cloud the world trusted, simply gone. This was the black blood of the old country, the oil that fueled its cars, its armies, its endless appetite. The wealth that entangled America in a century of wars. Now it draws water, not fuel, from the same ground. The mountains shield their people. The deep bunkers built for generals became cities for survivors. Sheltered from storm, fallout, and raiders, thousands live inside the rock. The surface is just somewhere you visit. While the rest of the country froze, this basin stayed warm from below. They gathered to the earth's own furnace. Here, the long winter never reaches. This city built the machine that defined America. It put the whole nation on wheels. When the engines died, the Motor City died too. Now survivors mine its graveyards for steel. Far from the cities and the targets, some places barely felt the war at all. The old self-reliant ways the modern country forgot kept these hollows alive. An America that survived because it never fully joined the one that fell. This is where America sold childhood and wonder to the world, the most magical place on earth. Now the rising water made it genuinely wild. Nature swallowed the fantasy and made it alive. The war brought endless rain here, and the forest exploded. In 2 generations, it turned steel and glass into a green cathedral. Nature reclaims everything the moment we step back. The thick concrete silos that held the nation's grain made perfect fortresses. The heartland that once fed the world now feeds only itself, from behind concrete walls. This is where America reached for the stars and swore it could outrun any limit. It aimed at space and fell to Earth. Now a fishing village lives in the shadow of the gantries. The dry desert preserved thousands of grounded plains. Survivors saw instant housing. A whole town lives inside the dead fleet of a nation that once ruled the sky. The planes that will never fly shelter the people who walk. Most of the great dams went dark when the grid died. Here, one Vuravime still turns. A clan of engineers keeps it alive, lighting the canyon settlements. Some of what America built was worth keeping. The conquerors did not only bomb America, they rewrote its monuments. They humbled a nation that carved its leaders into the earth to last forever. America is not only fallen, it is ruled. The victors did not rebuild America, they harvest it. A few ports the dead nation's metal and timber across the ocean. Survivors are laborers in their own land. America is no longer one country. It is a patchwork. A few zones the victors run, and the vast free interior survivors govern themselves. The old United States is neither united nor a state. The far north was spared the worst of the bombs, so the victors came to take what was left. Ore, fuel, and timber, stripped from the frozen frontier, the last resource colony of a conquered land. This valley forged the steel that built America. Its skyscrapers, its ships, its weapons. The muscle of the nation rusting back into the earth that bore it. The radiation that drove out the people let the wild come back. The exclusion zones are the richest wildlife refuges on the continent now. The planet does not need us, only our absence to heal. Between the green refuges lie the dead blanks. The salt flats are the worst. Days of blinding white, no water, no shade, crossed only in caravans. People will go this far just to reach the next living place. For a century, America built walls to keep others out. Now survivors line up at those same walls, begging to enter the countries that outlived us. The Great Reversal. The famous American coast, the beaches the whole world envied, lies under the risen sea now. The seafront cities drowned street by street. The ocean took back every playground we built beside it. From this fortress, America ran the most powerful military in history and a century of wars, until the world it kept fighting struck the source. A fitting grave for a nation that mistook force for safety. This avenue was built to make a nation feel eternal. No country, however sure of its permanency, is owed a future. These are monuments to the limits of glory now. This is how the war truly ended, not in fire but in administration. Towns like this live under the flags of those we bombed. Sovereignty traded for the survival our certainties never gave us. A generation that never saw the country whole has chosen to remember it honestly, neither worshiping it nor erasing it, deciding for themselves what of the old country is worth carrying forward. No one knows how many died when the country fell. The cities went in hours, the records with them. A grief too large to hold, gathered into something a person can stand before and touch. These children were born into the after. They have never seen a lit city or a working road. To them, old America is a story like any other empire, vivid, strange, and finished. These are the last who remember America alive, who watched it send its armies abroad year after year. They hand down not a legend, but a warning. How a country can believe itself good while the world came to see it otherwise. They refused to settle it with a comfortable answer. Was the country murdered, or did it reap what it sowed? Most land somewhere painful in between. A people that lies about why it falls can only fall again. The keepers gather the enemy's own words, not as propaganda, but as evidence. Russia and a tired world said they ended America to end its endless wars. We listen to understand the verdict passed on us. For 100 years, this country was almost always at war somewhere. The bombs it finally received, it had first rained on others for generations. A nation addicted to war meets a world unwilling to endure it. For 60 years, we scavenged the wreck of the old world. Here, for the first time, we are growing something new from it. A valley once too poisoned to plant, brought back by patient work. Survival is becoming life. When the country fell, its hospitals went with it. We lost almost everything modern medicine had won. The healers stitched a new practice from the books we saved and the plants we grew. What a civilization learns need not die with it. We are not restoring the old country. We are building a humbler one on its grave. Streets sized for people, not cars. A place you build yourself is one you understand how to keep. They studied why the old republic failed, how it let power pool, and let its wars run unchecked. Not a restoration of America, but a correction of it. Self-rule chottled by how the grand version died. The land we paved and poisoned is healing, where the radiation has faded. The planet was never ours to ruin or to save, only to live within. The green coming back is the surest sign. These young people never knew the old country. They were born into the rebuilding. A generation raised not on the lost greatness, but on the patient labor of starting again. With the cities dark, we can see the whole sky again, the way people did before we covered the night. The rise and fall of one nation is very small against a galaxy. What we build next is measured against the stars, not a flag. I crossed a ruined country to show how people live in the place that lost everything. The fall was neither a simple crime nor a simple punishment. What grows in its grave is smaller, humbler, and perhaps wiser. No nation is too great to fall. A country that lives by endless war will meet a world that ends it. The future is not built by those who mourn a lost greatness. It is built by the people who learn why everything burned and begin again.